Hello and welcome back. This is Arunavo Chaudhary. You are on my YouTube channel, Arun Foot. It is April the 3rd, 2025. We just witnessed the second semi-final of the Indian Super League, the first leg of that, in which Jamshedpur FC scored a late winner, a 2-1 winner against Mohun Bagan Super Giant, and the League Shield winners for a second year running will go into the second leg with a 1-2 deficit. And we'll speak about this. We'll speak about more of what's all happening in Indian football. And welcome you all. And those of you who may be watching this afterwards, if you like what you're seeing, what you're hearing, do leave a like behind, share it with other people to join us. And if you have not so far subscribed, do subscribe to the channel and do watch the short videos that I make on a regular basis. Today I made one asking the question is, well, not asking the question, but just making a summary of saying that, the daily Indian football circus, some of the stuff is just insane to think about it. So do watch those things and let's get right into things. Good evening, Gerondre. Welcome back. Sterling 72, also good evening to you. Shocked to see the referee give a yellow to Izzy due to some squabbling in the last corner. He now misses the second leg once again. Mohun buying themselves a huge advantage. Sterling, first of all, this Mohun Bagan buying themselves an advantage again. Yeah. There were one or two situations earlier where Izzy could have picked up a card, he didn't, and then in the end, can be given, doesn't have to be given, but it is given, and therefore, it is something that has just happened, and he'll have to live with it, and I guess he can live with it. So therefore, let's see. But they've picked up too many yellow cards, and or red cards in the last few games. Jamshedpur FC. So let's see how they manage with that. I also feel we all need to start giving Jamil more credit rather than saying success down to 2-3 clear players. Wouldn't have been saying the same to a foreign coach. Sterling, I think I will say the same thing about a foreign coach as well, because Molina's success is built on on certain players. And again, Mohun Bagan today was once more not impressive to me. More pragmatic than anything with the quality that they have, and they got the goal through the individual brilliance of Jason Cummings today. So so therefore I would say that. And Javier Hernandez, Steven Eze, those two are the key players, and Eze out, that is very, very worrying for Jamshedpur FC. Any update on scenario for the A-League with Kashi's 3 points? So will the trophy not be awarded till the 28th? Sterling 72. At the moment, there is no clarity on that. Interkashi has asked the AIFF to come out with a verdict before Sunday. So therefore, let's wait and see what decision the AIFF takes on that. How can the A-League social media handles say that Interkashi is out there? Sterling 72, as per their calculations, at the moment, they're out of the race. At the moment. They're right. Could you throw some light on the suspensions for Churchill Brothers due to accumulation of yellow cards? I would have to dig deep. Don't have that at my tip of my hands at the moment, but I think there are 2 or 3 players who would be out for Sunday's clash against Real Kashmir. What if Mohun Bagan win the Super Cup? Then who takes the second AFC slot? The team which finished second in the ISL. Hi Yashaj, I'm doing good. Jamshedpur played really well. This game, Kajim Tactics brilliant worked on this game. Yeah, we could say that, but to me, Molina's team again didn't play. I mean, we go back to that FC Goa game. They have one chance and win 2-0, right? So, yeah, this is the way that Molina sets his teams up at the moment, I guess, and therefore, Jamshedpur FC to upset what we talked about yesterday. No competitive match for Morgan shows their sloppiness to one still anyone's game. Yeah, well, Jim, I think what we saw yesterday and what we also saw today, that those sort of quarter-final one-off matches actually are an advantage for the team finishing third and fourth with the international break. And so from that, it was advantage Bengaluru FC and it was advantage Jamshedpur FC today in the end. And again, Avian Hernandez, I think, is one of few players who can score in the way he did, and let's wait and see how far it goes. I'm looking forward to that second leg. Sunday, it's FC Goa versus Bengaluru FC, and on Monday it is then Mohun Bagan Supergiant versus Jamshedpur FC. Hi Ashish, what's up with Ritvik Das? What do you mean, Hannibal? He was back today and set up the goal. So yeah, Cummings free kick was really nice today. Roshan, really great free kick from Jason Cummings. That was quality written all over it. That was a class free kick for Mohun Bagan, and yeah, great one. What a match, says Vignesh. Yeah, it was. I wouldn't say what a match. I think that Jamshedpur once more played their pragmatic game. Mohun Bagan sat at the back and wanted to sort of control things. So therefore, not the. I don't know if this is the greatest. So let's see. Plus, a Mohun Bagan fan was attacked and wounded badly by Jamshedpur police, says Ravar. Okay, that's not good. Shouldn't be the case. We've had some problems in Jamshedpur with away fans. Today, AIFF circus, says Vignesh. Okay. The rule only captain will deal with the referee and Arsenal must be scrapped. I feel because of this reason, refereeing league in this season show a lot of stupid cards. You know that's a global FIFA rule, right? So the ISL can't say that so therefore, yeah, stupid cards, but that's the rule. India doesn't have any football culture. I just saw some people from the IFF trying to do something for Indian football. They said in Germany, every parking ground or even the concrete floor are filled with kids playing just football for fun, whereas it's difficult to see such stuff like this in India. Okay, Renal. My worst fear is we're going to draw against San Marino. Morali, I don't even see us ever playing San Marino, but that's a different question. Shomit Shom gives a positive message to Bangladesh Football Federation to play for Bangladesh. That's good news. I think, with Hamza joining now Bangladesh, I think the Bangladesh Federation is in a position to get other players of origin to play for them. Odisha also won the first leg, but then we lost Carlos Delgado like they lost Eze today. Yeah, that's the thing now. Mohun Bagan has the depth in squad, which the other teams simply don't have for different reasons. Right? So that's a big problem at the moment. Ashish Negi told FSDL gave demand they don't want a Mohammedan sporting fiasco like considering Pendry's salary payments. Okay. Then they shouldn't have allowed Mohammedan sporting in, right? Then this logic doesn't work because they had the situation last season and the season before with Hyderabad. So then Mohammedan sporting should never have been allowed in. So therefore, that point, non-starter. Do you feel arrogance from Indian football and people who are running the show? Yeah. Morally, simple answer is yes. Not only that, there are a lot of people who think they understand football. That's why I did that short video today calling it the daily Indian football circus, because to me it is shameful that there are a lot of people who behave as if they understand and know things and do they actually know things, and very often if you interact with them you'll realize they don't know things the way they should need to know, right? And that is a big problem in my opinion, that we are dealing with people, a lot of people who will tell you, like, I am the best person to tell you what's happening in football. And no, they actually factually don't. And that's a big, big problem in football. Molina out once again among Bagan fans. European International Supergiant keeps such a mediocre manager. So, Rava, the question is, what does the club want? What does the players want? What does the fans want? What does the club officials want? What does Mr. Goenka want? And Mr. Goenka wanted a trophy. He's got it. And does the team want more? Most probably. But Molina doesn't seem to be wanting to change his style of play, and that's going to be an issue, right? So therefore, if we look at it, he again played the way that he likes to play. Mohun Bagan, were more attacking than usually, I would say, but that final, there was something missing where you'd say, they're going to win in Jamshedpur and, bury the tie, so to say, but they kept Jamshedpur alive. And I felt in the last 10 minutes, looks like Jamshedpur could steal this game, exactly like they did. So how can we solve the coaching issue, according to you? Renal, we need to create a system in which we are able to get the right people in to become coaches. I think that's my first concern, that the right people are in the system who we can educate, can grow these people into proper coaches. I think that's the biggest problem. And then it's on the coaches to work on themselves and to grow. The under-17 match starts today and I missed the Indian team. Okay, Vignesh. Yeah, that's the problem. Under-17 Asian Cup. Can the salary issue raised to FIFA? Murali, Indian players can raise it with the AIFF, foreign players can raise it with FIFA. Sorry, I have to add to the comment before if they don't want a second Mohammed Sporting fiasco again. Listen, Mohammed Sporting is a second Hyderabad FC fiasco. This payment situation is very, very clear. And if FC Goa, or if let's say a Real Kashmir want to come in and Mohammed Sporting didn't show any bank guarantees, I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I think if we're looking at the four at the top, if I add Interkashi to the mix, Interkashi, Gokul, Kerala could walk into the ISL financially. The others two can't. So that's going to be the question. Any instance, a good coach cannot serve in a football system. Murali, remove the Indian football system, but football system, yes. There are good coaches who failed and who've not been able to cope. Yeah. What went wrong for FC Goa yesterday? Nilaksh simply said BFC scored 2 goals and FC Goa, similar to somewhat to Mohun Bagan in a different way. Manolo said, I was happy with my team, and I was thinking like, yeah, but your penetration, there was a lack of penetration. The problem was that BFC was effective. And yeah, they've been leaking these goals. So let's see. Good evening. I had a feeling that Jamshedpur FC might win today. Such Ochud. Yeah, me as well. I thought 2-1 might be possible, and that should that. What are the basis coach is valid based on success or development of team? Murali, in India, very often on the success with that team, rather than saying, rather than working on the development, not of the team, but of the individual players. Appala. Hello, the boys. Welcome. What is the referee? Did everything from one super giant, one clear-cut penalty not given, is a yellow card not needed, still give yellow, and at least they are going to give as a red as a kick ball out of celebration. I don't know which penalty you're talking about. Did I miss something? And yeah, the yellow card again. He's pushing, shoving his way through. Can be given, but I would say doesn't have to be given. Let's put it this way. Now I truly believe ISL coaches are paid. Okay, This surprised an African player makes top despite the situation in playing top level. No, Murali, there's a desire, um, hard work, put into this. That's why they achieve that level. Does Reliance Foundation Young Team has a good set of coaches? Have you seen them closely? Renal, they've had good coaches, I would say, who I know very, very well, who I've worked very closely with in the past at other clubs. I know some of the coaches as well. So, yes, they have some good coaches. I don't know if all coaches are good. Do you think Jamshedpur FC defeating Mohun Supergiant in the first leg of semis will inspire FC Goa to play bold against BFC? Gaurav, this first and second semi-final, I would say, have nothing to do against each other. So FC Goa know what they have to do. They have to score at least 2 goals to stay in the tie and get into extra time. And then they have to win. I mean, that Jamshedpur FC can beat Mohun Bagan at home is a given to me. A lot of teams have lost in Jamshedpur. And so therefore, so let's see. Intercash has been eliminated from I-League title race. Aditya, let's wait and see, because I think if the rules are followed, they will get the 3 points against Damdhari back because they've been taken away illegally. Hi, Blue. Welcome back. You said football is governed by FIFA when a player or association didn't commit mistake, but due to their political decision, country get banned. And since these things challenge in CAS. Morally, if the country is banned, then the player or the association has nothing to do, and they can't take matters to CAS that way. Ashish Rai handball in box for penalty. Okay. Did I miss something? Did anyone else see that? I don't know. How strong is Thailand currently compared to AFC 2019? They have better development than us. Morali, I've not seen the Thailand team in the recent past. So I don't know what the standard at the moment is. Did Qatar played in any player played? Yes, they have in Belgium. And Kais Eupen. FSL is bearing non-payment of salary issues of both Harvard FC and Mohun voted, and why is Churchwell seen as a bad choice for ISL? Gaurav, at some stage, the ISL needs to learn its lessons, and so therefore, if they learn their lessons, Churchill Brothers is set for failure because the bank guarantee will be the first instance, in my opinion, where they'll fail. They've not pushed it through with Mohammedan Sporting. Yeah, that's the reality. Was attending a U10 boys trial for a local club. At least 50 boys turned out. Many of them go around several clubs for trials, and we're talking about a sport that is 4th, 5th popular in USA. Uchut, the grassroots in the US is on a different tangent, on a different level. I think to compare it, so yeah. Jamshedpur FC is high on confidence. Seems like they can lead in second leg as well. Gyundra, let's wait and see. The danger with this Mohun Bagan team is individual quality. Hey Shaki, good to see you. Playoff crowds are growing. Sellouts at Kantirawa and JRD complex. Interesting to know your thoughts of what changed. Shaki, the one thing which I think football purists will not like, but the ISL playoffs is what the fans like the most. If we all care about the league, we care about the whole season, but I think a lot of fans care about the playoffs. Period. That's why we've had the largest crowds. In the ISL playoffs in the last few years. Pretty bad game from Mohun Bagan. Yeah, Blue agree. It was lifeless. It was listless. Somehow I feel Mohun Bagan Supergiant will make it in the second leg. I still think firepower for Mohun Supergiant is higher to make it over the line to the final. Roshan, I agree with you on that. I totally agree with you on that one. Any instance you had heated argument with expert and pointed flaws? Oh, Murali, 100%. Yeah, multiple times. Your opinion on Ashuto's yellow card, could the card color have been different? No, I don't think so. The yellow is fine. Cummings' goal is the only standout by us. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you saw highlights, you got that there's a clear-cut penalty. I haven't seen it. That's why, what are the kind of people at this football club you will stay away despite whatever money they have offered you? Oh, you know, uh, I need to have a good, I need to have a good feeling. I need to be working with the right people. Only then I would commit to a project, right? So therefore, for me, that's the clear thing. That's the most important thing. If we're working with the right people, yeah, it's good. Did Richard Hood and you both came to Indian football circuit at the same time? No, Renner, I came in before. I remember, I don't know which year. Was it 2002, 2001? Richard came to meet me. I was still studying in Düsseldorf at the university. He had come to meet me, so I got involved with Indian football before Richard did. Sorry. Good crowd at Kantirava despite an annual game in Bangalore. Kudos to fans. Which should yes, and again, the reality is that if we're looking at football fans and cricket fans, I think very often two sets of people. Manolo has managed to get FC Goa to two semifinals in his tenure. Do you consider this as success if FC Goa fails to qualify for final? Good question, Gaurav. If you think about it, that he won the ISL Cup with Hyderabad FC and that he had actually more resources available to him at FC Goa, it's somewhere in between. I think overall for FC Goa, semi-finals is good. But does FC Goa want more? And if FC Goa want more, yeah, then they have to try and try to win something, right? And that's, I know, very, very difficult. Roshan says, yes or now with these cup vibes gives another emotions, even here in Germany, the FA Pokal, not only Indian thing. Yeah, yeah. Knockout matches just have their own field. As you say, the FA Pokal here in Germany, the German Cup, or we could look at Champions League or other things as well. Like reality is the players are the end product of the system. I used to play in CBSE tournaments, but we had a mid-level coach when I was 13 or 14 and it's too late. So it's an ecosystem flaw, right? It's an ecosystem flaw, some will say, but on the other side, it's also, it's the coach, it's the school. It's very complex. You think certain time having good relationship with coach and player and it was like people and Snathan. The coach and the players don't have to be best friends. If they have a good understanding, it works. What makes Snathan different from other strikers? Power or aggression? Maybe both, Moran. Is Valanka trying to professionalize things at Churchill Brothers? Not that I know of. People have to understand that we have to build our own games and system, our own games and system. I think this playoff is a good idea for the league. We're not still a stage to go to a full format league. We are a full format league, no? We are a full format league which has a playoff at the end of it. Sahal and Changte are playing for India team but fully fit ISL for Mumbai City FC and Bagan Super Giant. The boys, very simply said, when Manolo called up his squad, Sahal was injured. I actually saw Sahal play when he got injured. And that was a while back. And on the other side, Changte got also injured in a match before the nominations, and at the time they were injured. Now that was over 2 weeks before the ISL playoffs, and in between were the games of the national team. So therefore, very difficult, but that's the situation as it stands. Can you make podcast Rashni? It would be good. K Murali. By the way, a Mohun Bagan fan was hospitalized after Jamshedpur. Jamshedpur FC fans beat them 3 times in the season now. Jamshedpur that away fans attack Mohun Bagan, Superchan OC, Odisha FC, and now again Mohun Bagan. Not good, not good. I think people are underestimating Churchill Brothers on his financial position. A lot of people of his money sources. He's running his club for so many years now. Gaurav, I exactly know what his money sources are, and Churchill Brothers doesn't have the money to compete at ISL level, and it's a Mormon sporting situation. It'll be another disaster waiting to happen. Hi, SCT. Seems like FC Goa or Bangalore FC have more online fans than expected. Okay. Why are you saying that? Could you explain that, SCT? Is residential company last puzzle of a player development? It doesn't have to be residential. It just needs to be an academy, right? Özil, Kroos, Valverde. Which one is your favorite? Mine is Özil. Tony Kroos. No doubts about it. Ocho says, grassroots in Kolkata, very difficult to find a coaching center. Also, many wouldn't enroll you until you are 8-9 years old. At least you get to start when your kid is 4-5. Ocho, I now know at least of 2-3 centers which work with younger kids. And therefore, and therefore that is possible if you want to find. Can we say Sahal Brendan developed in much better way? That's why we feel difference in touch and pass. Yeah, can be said, Murali. Pro with another solid game. Yeah, Ishan, again, one of the older ones. And Prona Halda now two key games. Especially today towards the end as a defender. What he was clearing up for his team. Quite a lot of respect for Pranay, who I've known over a decade. Real fighter, a real warrior for his team. And does it that. It's just disappointing to ISL these days. Just give the trophy to Mohun for Super Giant already, says Aditya. Okay. In any instance, you felt politician done harm to Indian football, good for any instance? Yeah, I've seen both. Modal, if you ask me. I want Real Kashmir or Gokul Kerala to ISL, says Aditya. Okay. The yellow in the last minute was for what? Pushing and shoving before a free corner. So yeah, that was the reality. Ronald said this is one of the worst teams. Do you agree? Yeah, but so they're not playing well, huh? Do you think AIFF should allow only one club from one state in I-League, considering there's very possible next season there will be 3 clubs from Goa competing in I-League? Nah, I think that it's a nice restriction, but again, then you restrict teams, right? You could say the same thing about the ISL. Originally, the ISL also had this rule that you can only have one team from one city or one state. I think so therefore, yeah, difficult. Good to know, but numbers are very less when compared to cricket camps. Same goes for table tennis, badminton, tennis. Oh, Ajut, I think there are quite a number of camps for, I know a program called Warming Up Kids. I know about the German Football Academy has a program as well. So therefore, there are quite a few now and others on these turfs who allow smaller kids to train. Yesterday, Bengaluru FC vs FC Goa match got 79K viewership, which was more than any Kolkata team match. Okay. Sahal and Ashik were just poor, says Ishan. Okay, yeah, can be said, but I just couldn't understand what was Sahal and Ashish doing today. Yeah, Blue. That's the problem. No? We come back to the topic of consistency in Indian footballers, and that's where we have been. That's where we are struggling. And today was again a very, very good proof, right? That Consistency is something which, with our Indian players, sometimes can be a very, very, very tough thing to do, right? So therefore, right, already more than half an hour on this live on this Thursday evening on April the 3rd, 2025. If you like what you're seeing, to leave a like behind, 10 likes so far, share it with others to join. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, please do subscribe. We're at 2,476. So we're closing in slowly on the 2,500 mark. So if you haven't, if you're listening, please do. Sorry. Where did I go? Oops. Tangri is underrated in destroyer role, allows Thapa to play a little further up the field, help in attacks. I think he's not underrated. I think those who know Deepak Tangri's capabilities know, but Deepak Tangri sometimes, can pick up a yellow card and then is close to being sent off. So that can also be a problem. Do you think certain player not technical gifted but fighting spirit is unbelievable? Park Ji-sung, tiredness, people keep on running. Yeah, Jisung Park, I think you're meaning. Yeah, of course. There are different types of players. So many people came to watch that Jamshedpur match. Feels like Indian football is growing. 20K into Jamshedpur tonight, love it. Was it 20? I thought they officially said they will only sell 70,000, right? Around the Interkashi AIFF decision thing reminds me of that ghost goal of Thomas Helmer for Bayern Munich against Nuremberg, which produced a rematch. Yeah, sounds like it. Let's see. Yeah. But again, let's see what happens on that decision if that decision comes in the next couple of days. How do they Pranal as centre back in today's game, SCT? Look at his game. Look at how much solidity he gave to that back line with Stephen Eze. Pranal is one of those. If we're talking about, Deepak Tangri and being underrated, I think Pranal has gotten a lot of stick over the years, but he's also had some very, very good performances, be it for club, be it for country. And I think that's not being given the right credit. Sometimes I feel like this whole ISO was created just a quick money grab by FSTL and AIFF. Aditya, where quick money grab? FSTL, Reliance have lost over, I don't know how many thousands of crores. Where is the quick money grab? Where is that logic? Where do you get this in your head that this is a quick money grab? Were you there in 2012, 2013, 2014 when the league was being planned, when ideas were being put together to see how Indian football could be grown through the ISL? To make such a statement, to say such an unqualified statement really annoys me because you were not there. A lot of people make these statements, this, and they don't even have a clue what they're talking about. Quick money grab is so far away from the reality because it's never been a quality grab. I guess we lost in midfield battle to Javi, Bullet, Thapa and Tangri. Javi, I've seen him live against Punjab C earlier this season. And he's smart. He's intelligent. He knows when to make the runs, when to leave it, how to play with the ball against others. He's a smart footballer. And that makes the difference. Javi Hernandez, that's why I said Javi Hernandez and Stephen Eze are the key reason, in my opinion, why Jamshedpur FC is where they are. Very, very simple. If Khalid Jamil could do whatever he wanted to, if those two players weren't there, this team, will be fighting for the 10th spot. That is the difference that these two players make. And Javi Hernandez, class footballer over the years now in the ISL. Yeah. What do you think happened at the end, which riled up Pranay? Abuse? Something was said, or maybe that someone got as a yellow card, earned as a yellow card. Those might be the things. Pranay Halder, Pritam Kota, these players are personally felt they have solid performance against bigger opponents. Agree, Morali. Would like to raise that point once more. Majority of the AFC 2019 and 2017 FIFA World Cup team are still active, but sad and surprised to see the decline in their performance long list. Uchit, very, 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 very good point. Very good point. Because to me, Um, you know, um, if I see the under 17 World Cup squad, some of these boys, I've seen them with 15, 16, and 17 here in Germany, right? I've seen them play against Bayer Leverkusen, for example, or in Duisburg or wherever. They were quality. And this is shocking to see how these players have not progressed in that next window. When Tangri does something like this, he's praised, but when Amateur does the same thing, he's hated. Aditya, you're comparing two players which one should not compare. Amit Jahu is a much better player than Deepak Tangri. Amit Jahu is not a destroyer. Amit Jahu is actually a creative player who has destructive elements, and Deepak Tangri is a destructive player. So this comparison doesn't work. Both Ashutosh and Eze will miss the second leg. Who will replace them? Eze, I guess, is Sirkovic. Ashu, I don't know, might be Nikhil Barla, might be pulled back. Let's see. Certain time I feel Khel now cover better football than AIFF. Okay. Shai says, now one question. Bangalore adopted a back 5-3-2 with Bhutia nullifying the threat of Bryson. Ika looked like the only threatening player. Do you see that Bangalore needs a second striker? Back Shaggy, I spoke about it yesterday. I felt I would have liked to have seen Sadiko and Guruchena together. You know, be in the worst case, go to a 4-4-2 and then use those two guys, and maybe even a 4-4-2 or a 4-4-1-1. Utilize the players in the best way, right? Therefore, for me, yeah, that's there. So therefore, for me, Manolo, I don't know what happened with Manolo, but last 2-3 matches, Manolo has not been on song, in my opinion, with his tactics, with the way he's built his team. Does India lack a street football culture? I don't think so. The question is if those street footballers actually make it to the into the real game. Do you think viewership matters for revenue? Yes, of course. Murali, 100%. Bruno's best performance in month was against Bahrain, scarred by the penalty he gave away in the dying minutes. Yeah, Isha, not a bad one. Because he was injured, right? And he would have liked to have been substituted after 80 minutes, and he wasn't because had to substitute Anas Elathodika after, I think, 2 or 3 minutes because of an injury, and therefore we didn't have enough substitutions. And at that time, you didn't have that many substitutions as we have now. Without Eze next Monday will be hard for Jamshedpur to pull an upset. Yeah, Banjo, agree. But Mohun Bagan first has to score 1 goal to equalize the game. People like Xavier just cries that FSL is looting money from the system, and their Xavier fanboys paranoid. It's all over, but there's no profit, guys. It's simple as that. Yeah. The problem is the problem is at the end of the day that FSDL has come in, has tried things. I clearly say they've done their mistakes, but they've brought investment into the game which wasn't there in that magnitude before. That has to be given a credit. And that is what these so-called saviors or whatever other people don't like. I still don't know why this Javi was released by the chef C. Says met Rene Fernandez yesterday sipping tea. Okay. Does Richard Hood really work for Indian football to start in massively different parts of the country? Sorry, it's allergy season in Germany. So I'm a bit hay fever, all good. Yeah, Richard Hood, while with the AIFF, did work on the plans of the baby league. So yeah, he's one of the authors of that. Khalid by the boss is Indian football. In international matches, you need people like Pronoy Tangli because of their physique and work rate, even though they have habit of rash jams. Agree, Uchut. Totally agree. Shaggy says, Onavo, Liston and Thapa unable to track Javier and Javi defensively, something to ponder over. Speaks about their game and speaks about their football. Says, I'm an AFC national coach from Mumbai. In my opinion, the football system needs an Agnew type system where they go through it and after 20 out, if they're not good, get them a football related job, and the hunger is in the poor, not in the riches. Okay, maybe. Let's see. Heard a rumor that Mohun Bagan is targeting Roshan Singh. Let's wait and see. Transfer period will come very, very soon, and then we'll talk about names. Do you think Park Ji-sung, unbelievable, how can he run for such a long time? No. Quality player, physically fit. So thoughts on both the semifinals and personal thoughts on how Bangalore have performed. Woman, Bangalore were opportunistic, were smart in the game. FC Goa had more of the ball, but didn't control the game per se. That would be the first game. The second game, one of those matches, chances here and there, rare chances, let's put it this way, but I felt towards the end there was a bigger desire from Jamshedpur FC to try and get something out of this game. And therefore, for me, all to play for in both the games. But again, massive advantage. BFC 2 goals is good. 1 goal, I mean, it's better than a 1-1. So Jamshedpur take a 2-1 lead to Kolkata, but Mohun has it in them. Nikka is the right revision of Varedia's SAT. If you look at it now, I mean, last season Mumbai had always 2 strikers. So the problem is not just Karelis, but the problem is that Karelis doesn't have an alternative. That was his problem, Mumbai City's problem. Saw a post going around. Chante and Brandon are fit within 2 weeks and playing ISO players. Do we know how serious the injuries were? Might have been too tight to recover in 2-3 days. Achut, that is always the problem of us who are not there. You know, the point here is, to me, is Brandon got injured in the game against Maldives, had to go off, recovered, and then played 10 days later. Chante was injured at the time that the camp started, and I think even 1 day before the game against BFC, it was not clear if both of them would play, right? So, sorry. So that's the summary of things. And if you're out of the camp, if you're out of the national team, coaches called up someone else, you will try to get fit. But and therefore these players, or Sal was mentioned today as well, they were fit enough to play for their clubs. They're now in the playoffs. Any instance you've had player in Germany complaining minor things like grass is better compared to other parts of the world? Players like to complain. So yeah, there's complaints, morale is always there. Do you think immigration process for players easy for certain countries? Yeah, I guess so. Are there any Indian players who received offers from foreign clubs for the 24-25 season, either at the start or during the mid-season transfer window? Goku, none of that I know of. No. How's the weather in Germany? Aditya, spring is in the air today. It is sunny. It is pleasant. So therefore, could be different, but it says 19 degrees and still the sun is out. So yeah. To be honest, the only people who make money in Indian football are the players in ISL. Nothing against that. At least some people are earning a decent livelihood. Which I wouldn't even say ISL. I think even in the I League, there are a lot of players who are earning a good livelihood. There are even players in I League too. Sometimes even in the local league, sometimes that people are making money. After first, like in both FC Goa and Mohun Bagan, do you see them making comeback, or it's going to be Bengaluru FC versus Jamshedpur FC? I'm seeing Bagan has more of a better chance than Goa. What do you think? Yeah, Nelson, I agree. At the moment, if you would ask me, you know, a Bangalore FC Mohun Bagan final looks more likely, but ISL playoffs, we've seen that last year, can be very, very crazy. Why is Middle East always a better development system despite they didn't make top? Because they're spending money. Khalid has the ability to sit back and park the bus with his players, unlike Sergio Lobera at Yo Bharti Kirangan. He has, but Mohun Bagan still needs 1-2 opportunities to score. Need to make the football popular between middle class and working class people in India like they have in Bengal and Kerala. Do you think Indian clubs need to leave their Spanish coach obsession, give chance to Indian coaches? Take Indian coaches. Tell me who's better than the Spanish coaches. I wouldn't be able to name you one Indian coach who's better than any of the Spanish coaches who have been coaching. Ochu says this from Morali. In Asian Cup 2011 match against Australia, the player who ran the most was Said Rahim Nabi. Around 12 kilometers, the thing Australia was fielding a World Cup squad. Ochu, again, that's something that has happened, and so therefore, does happen once in a while. Chankar and Brandon playing for Mumbai City, even getting injured for national team. Aditya, we've had the issue, and if you see the way that they played on Saturday, they were not fully fit to play, but it was an ISL playoff game. Options were not that much there for Mumbai City. They played. I guess if it was a normal league game, I don't think both of them would have played, right? That's also reality of these guys playing those matches. Why Mohun FC always gets benefit of referee? I don't know, Chetan, if you think so. We have two things here to see. The physios at Mumbai City FC are better than the Indian national team, football team, or the other thing, like they don't value their national team sport, which I don't think. Aditya, they've had more time, right? From Maldives to Bangladesh was 6 days. From Maldives to India was 10 days, or actually 14 days because Chunky didn't join the squad. So therefore, that's a different time period. And again, if you look at the game, the way both of the players played, they were not 100% fully fit. I heard Indian player from Kerala Bus is getting monitored by Danish club. No, Aditya, that is fake news, as we have discussed here on this channel. There is no offer. Kuru is the player concerned. People have been saying that there is an offer out there somewhere, but from what I have heard or what I've been told, at the moment, there is no offer for him or any other Indian player available, at least as far as I know at this moment. Could be different, but I haven't heard anything. So therefore, that's something. Right, nearly 50 minutes on this Thursday evening after Jamshedpur FC scored a late winner through Javi Hernandez to beat Mohun Bagan Supergiant in their first leg of the ISL semifinals, the second semifinal of the ISL. So Jamshedpur FC take a 2-1 advantage to Kolkata, return leg on Monday at the Salt Lake Stadium, while FC Goa suffered a 0-2 loss yesterday. So at Bengaluru FC, so FC Goa have a mountain to climb on Sunday. So therefore, what you see, what you hear, leave a like behind. 12 likes so far. Share it with other people so that they can also join us in our conversations. And as always, thank you very, very much, everybody, for your support. And if you like to follow the channel, subscribe to the channel. We're closing in slowly to the 2,500 mark. So thank you for that as well. Is Richard Hood Richie. Really, one thing, don't call him Richie. That sounds disrespectful, in my opinion. Richard Hood is one of big brains in our system. He's one of the good brains. Is he one of the um, big brains of our system? Yeah, one of our brightest, I would at least say. We don't even win against Australia in cricket. How could we have won against them in football? Says Aditya. Okay. If Chatter Brothers win their league, how much do they need to pay to AIFF for ISL? Zero le louche, nothing. Because the AIFF has nothing to do. They don't pay anyone. They have to prove a gang guarantee and then can they get. I learned a lot from you, Richie. I want to involve in the system, make it better. Okay, Renner, very good. Try and see what you can contribute. Hi, Fiction Nerd. Said that the Federation Cup also going to take place next season after Durham Cup. Fiction Nerd, no one is talking about the next season at the moment. I don't know who spreads these infos. There is no news about next season. So therefore, for me, yeah, not something that we should be speaking about at this moment. As far as I know, no one has finalized any of the calendars for next season. Was it penalty? I think we're talking about that Ashish Rai thing that someone has said. I haven't seen it, so therefore I can't judge it. Honestly, I don't really recount that situation, therefore I can't say it. The Indian national football team has become the equivalent of East Bengal, Sina, says Aditya, and as 200 players have at least capabilities to play in Thai and national country leagues. Capabilities potentially, yes, but who's going to take them over there, right? I don't see any team in Thailand or in Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore wanting an Indian player. If you have the option of a foreigner, would you yourself take an Indian player? Would you take a South Asian player? Let's generalize it. Let's not even get to an Indian player. Would you take a South Asian player? Or would you take a player for somewhere else? Very simple question. So therefore, for me, these questions don't arise in that way. Therefore, for me, no, I don't think they will be given a chance there, right? So that's the reality. Petrato's doing a tattoo of the timeline which he scored the goal and his foot feels like to see it defeated such a big crowd. We should see. Okay. Players have that thing now with tattoos, with success and failures. And Jimmy Petratos, of course, is one of those who had a lot of success in his ISL days. Let's see if this is the last and final season for him before he potentially moves somewhere else. But for Jimmy Petratos, those are the kind of players who've brought a lot of success to the ISL, to Indian football, and he does those things, right? So therefore, that's something for him to showcase, highlight that he's been able to do that. Right, 54 minutes. Are we through with today's discussion? Seems like you guys have fired most of your questions. I don't know if you've got observations or other things to add. With whatever is happening in Indian football, it will be interesting to see what happens in regard to the I-League and Interkashi in the next couple of days. If there's a judgment on that, if the AIFF are willing to take the appeal back, walk it back, that's one. And then AIFF has finalized the kickoff timings today for all the matches. So therefore, for me, let's wait and see what happens on that. Hi, Pratik. After watching today's video, I wonder if FIFA ban comes, how will it be lifted due to court interference? Pratik, someone needs to tell the courts at some stage, guys, this is none of your business, and therefore, it is. I think the prerogative is on the government to get themselves involved, to make sure that this is passed on to the right authorities, so that that the decision makers know that what is right, what is wrong. I think a lot of the judiciary doesn't know that, and that is for me the big concern at the moment. Why we are not progressing on that front, right? I think Indian coaches need to travel outside, manage outside clubs, and bring Indian players there. Aditya, if an Indian manager goes abroad, if an Indian coach goes abroad to coach abroad, if he then starts bringing Indian players to the system, people will then question him. If he's not successful, he and the player are gone quicker than you can think. For coaches to go great, for players to join them, I'm a little skeptical on that front, right? So therefore, I don't think, that to me is a workable, is a feasible idea. Coaches, yes, but even also coaches are even as assistant coaches in the ISL, they're so well paid. These guys don't want to go abroad, right? I know some ISL assistant coaches are happy to be, uh, um, you know, get that salary in the ISL rather than go and coach an I-League team or maybe I-League 2 team where you would get less money. Let Team Petros under defeating half-broken Richard Seed. Let's return next year and settle his case once and forever. Okay, is any Indian coach working outside in your contact and has real potential? Not that I know of at the moment. In my network, I wouldn't know anyone. Do you know why within Goan football people have issues with Churchill Brothers? I sometimes read negative things about Churchill Brothers, not so much historical background here. Roshan, one needs to know the history of Churchill Brothers in that way, how the Alimau family under the patron Churchill Alimau has built the club. You know, it's a family club, it's a family affair. They've had a lot of issues with the Dempos and Salgaokas, with Peter Vas at Sporting Club, at Miki Pacheco at França, Pax, with Vasco da Gama, Noel da Lima, Letao, the late Noel da Lima, Letao. So these are all issues why, and again, issues of finance. Joshua Mao has been at the helm of the Goa Football Association, and that was, created a lot of issues, problems. Valanka has been involved with administration of football as well, and that those would be the things why Churchill Brothers has this sort of issues with other entities within Indian football. Let's put it this way. Pratik says, just an innocent question. Why don't you try to bring Indian coach outside India? It will be way better than bring players. Sorry if I sound stupid. Pratik, no, you're not sounding stupid. I've actually discussed it with one or two coaches, but as I said, they will have to, we can organize internships or other things with clubs here or there, but they need to spend their own money. And as I said, a lot of coaches are very, very happy where they are. Rather be an assistant coach in ISL. You're not in the firing line. You're getting a good salary. I know a lot of coaches are happy with that, rather than stepping up, going outside, learning things, and exposing yourself to other things. Right? That's the challenge. I think that that there is. Just one second. Yeah, get another sip of water. Wow. Right. So therefore, for an Indian coach, to go outside, again, not a stupid question. It's logical, but again, be it with the players, also with the coaches, there needs to be a will and desire to go outside and learn, right? So that I feel is a big problem at the moment. So therefore, that's one thing. There was one Indian coach from Goa outside India at Egypt, brought there via Nilo Vingada. You're talking about Francisco Bruta. Francisco went there, and I think he's followed Vingada also to other coaching stints as well. But again, that rarely happens. So to me is very interesting also that so therefore that's what it is. In your opinion, which country is affordable and best for Indian to go and improve? See, Pratik, the affordability is always a question. Again, if you want to learn from the best, you have to come to Germany or Spain or go to England, right? Those were, or even France or Italy. Um, yeah, so from that perspective, right? Again, if you want to work hard and learn something, maybe even going to some country in Africa could be good for you, right? So therefore, these are tough decisions that you have to make, where you want to go, what you want to do, because at the end of the day, the challenge lies in finding the right opportunity to improve yourself. And sometimes, if you are at the right club where you're working, you're trying to learn, trying to improve, someone might give you a chance, an opportunity to actually remain at that club. So that's the challenge for the coaches when they go abroad. What's the realistic outcome you see in this tussle of FSTail and the AIFF? We know AIFF wants to make its own league, but do you see them bowing down to FSTail's request to keep ISL alive for a bit, or this is the end of the road for ISL? Well, Jian, I have no clue, to be very honest. This matter is so complex, so complicated, and um, the outcome can go anywhere. My biggest fear has been for the last 12 months or even more, since early last year, I've been saying this, that I fear that if the AIFF does not start talking to Reliance about extending the contract, um, you know, that um, the contract could be dead. And we are exactly at that situation now where, the contract has not been extended. The contract runs out at the end of the end of this year. Sorry, we are now in April, start of April, less than 9 months to run for the contract. So it doesn't run out at the end of the season. It runs out in the middle of the season, of a football season. So the situation as it stands at this moment, as we speak, as we talk, we are in a situation that it is more likely than not that Reliance will pull out, right? That's the reality, because um, the AIFF can make a counter offer to Reliance, but the counter offer which they've made, I mean, anyone who's got a little bit of sense and brain will laugh. The AIFF proposal of a 16-team league is a laughable thing, you know, uh, and so therefore, for me, um, the AIFF's first aim needs to be to try and find a solution with Reliance, and after finding some sort of a common ground, talk about finances. That's the simple thing, right? Nothing more, nothing less. Ochu says 3 years ago, I heard about many talented Indian tennis players moving to US with college scholarships and finally moving out of the sport, maybe due to high level of competition. Mm, Ochu, very good point. You know, uh, to me, there are two things. Yes, there's one thing with the high level of competition, and there's this side of Indian athletes, Indian parents, where you say, you know what, you're not good in your studies. You're in a good US college, you got in. Um, yeah, let's wait and see. And then once they leave the system, once they move out of the system, um, the tennis system is loses out on these players, and that's a big tricky scenario. And yeah, it's not easy, I guess, to find a solution to something like that, and find um, yeah, it's be it tennis or be it any other sport. If you're lost to the university college system, never get them back. I've already started planning for my future generation, investing my time and money from now on, but money is the most difficult part of this journey, as you know, for all Indian middle class. Maybe that's the reason Indian players choose individual games or cricket. Pratik, Indians are not willing to take risks in sports. If you look at people around the world, a lot of players risk everything to be a professional athlete. A lot of players. So therefore, from that standpoint, um, in India, people are not willing to take that risk. Now, India, you want to rather play safe, and then if you try and if you want to play safe, then it becomes an issue and a problem. And therefore, that's the challenge, huge challenge for a lot of players, individuals, athletes, and yeah, therefore, that's why a lot of them opt out. Or, for example, you have situations like, take the example of the Bengal Santosh Trophy team, where the biggest achievement of the team was actually not winning the Santosh Trophy as one, but on the other side, actually on that they were able to land government jobs. Uh, Uchit asking, are you traveling to US for the Club World Cup? Not sure, Uchit. At the moment, with all that's happening in the US, not sure about it. Let's see. Pratik says, I totally agree with you. We Indians only focus on study with physical education and sports. True point. I think, Pratik, that's a big, big problem. I've seen that now in the metros, that schools, high-end schools at least, are putting more emphasis on sports, with building the right infrastructure, enabling, bringing in the right sports teachers, not old-fashioned PE teachers. So these are small little things which seem to be changing. Is it good enough or not? That's a question to be asked. Um, you know, and therefore for me, it's always um, yeah, very, very. Uh, let's see. Let's see what if this behavior of Indian parents changes down the road, right? And therefore that's the Let's see. Right, 1 hour 7 minutes. Let me just quickly have to just close the window because it's getting a little fresh, and I've got the window half open. I keep on talking while closing the window. Yeah, and I think it's a generational thing. I hope that the next generation of parents are more susceptible to this thought idea of allowing their children to try themselves out in sports, to try and become athletes, because that's, as I say, that's a challenge, and yeah, one has to wait and see if that change, that generational change, happens with Indian society. I've seen in rural belts where you try and combine sports and education, and try to you know it's a very, very complex area. I think Indian education getting so costly that thinking about something else for kids is very hard. I would choose residential for Bagan rather than this fancy private schools. But the question is, these fancy private schools are often much, much better than the residential football academies. I think they need to work on the infrastructure, a lot of them, right? So therefore, it's always very, very difficult. What do you choose? What do you want to do? Chicken and egg situation, parents also need to see if the career is sustainable or not. Can't really blame them. True, but see, sports, if you're going to risk it, you still, if you do at least your high school finals, you can risk sports, and then maybe a year or two later you can get into your studies. So that would be my suggestion always, that if you're trying to get into sports, sorry, if you're trying to get into sports, have a plan B. If you're trying to become an athlete, what is your plan B? Could coaching be your plan B? Could sports management be plan B? Could your plan B be trying to become a doctor or something, a physio? There are so many jobs in and around sports that if you smartly do that, that risking, so to say, your life and your career on sports, there still are options. Good night, Pratik. I also wish you a good day tomorrow and catch you soon. Good to see you back. And therefore, these are all issues. Yeah. How much you think is being spent by the top private academies per year in sustaining their grassroots operations? Boah. I can't give you a figure because I haven't seen the figures. Uh, I mean, I wouldn't have those numbers, Turbo, if you ask me. These days, Varun Chakravarti, R. Ashwin, or a Eugene Singh Lindo are rare to find. Which is that, right? I mean, we forget Eugene, um, stylish player, intelligent player. Why? Because he was highly educated. That's the where Apuya stands out because he is studying besides playing football. So therefore, these players do make a difference. Also, with AIFF New League, I don't see some of the current clubs willing to join due to some of their poor financial situations. Only big ones like Mohun Bagan can, but currently they pressure have to make the deal with FSL or they wait just like us. Can the clubs? The clubs are not part of the conversation. The clubs on the ISL side or the I League side, I know that some clubs are shouting, this, that, and everything, but they're not part of the conversation. And that AIFF league, if I think people don't recognize and realize if Reliance pulls out, has been the ISL the perfect league to us? No, it hasn't. But has the I League or the NFL before that been the perfect league to us? Even less. Right? That is the reality that people need to understand. The I League has also improved over the last 11 years because they've seen a lot of things that the ISL has done. Reality, fact, right? And if we don't want to accept those things, we are not gonna progress. We are stuck in that time warp where we're hoping that someone will come and change things. Not happening at the moment. I think at the moment we have to be real enough. I think the ISL has built something, but the ISL is still a young league. It's just its 11th season. So therefore, there need to be changes made. Hopefully, that if there are extensions in regard to certain contracts, then that can be done. But otherwise, if Reliance pull out, the ISL shuts down, we will have most probably 2025 corporates, entities shutting down their football teams. The AIFF is at the moment not in a situation to run their competitions. I ask because there are so many academies like Reliance, Bangalore FC, Roundglass, FC Goa, and many others still they struggle to make decent players. It's difficult to understand given the resources they have. Turbo, they are not, they are spending resources, yes, but it is not on Reliance or BFC or Roundglass, FC Goa, or the others that you're mentioning. It is on the whole system. There are not enough football games. There are not enough quality competitions, which are hampering the development of the players. Now, and the question is, are the best players really at those academies? That is another question that can be asked. So therefore, there are a lot of questions that they're spending money. Surely they're spending money. No doubt they're spending money. But are they really spending the money that you think or I think that they should be spending or need to be spending? There's a question on that front, and therefore that's the problem with all of this at the moment. Do the numbers add up? And they're spending, but they're not getting back. No one question I League because I League clubs sit in their victim role. Roshan, very, very well said. Yeah. They are always the victim. They have been deprived of this and that and everything. Listen, you're getting stuff from the AIFF. You are getting stuff from the AIFF, which I would say, listen, if the AIFF wants to cut on down losses, do that. And if someone doesn't want to play in the I League, thank you very much. Tata bye bye. Right? And there will be someone else to take your place. Right? So therefore that's the reality. You know? So therefore, that's the reality. But again, who will ask the questions? If I League has improved, why clubs like Churchill Brothers and Dembo Scene, who used to spend big, are not spending now? Nadeem, who says that Churchill Brothers is not spending well? Who's telling you that? Dempo's spending less. Dempo's coming back. Dempo has decided individually at the time when they shut their first team in regard to out of the top tier of Indian club football, that they said, listen, they wanted to be part of the ISL, but they weren't given that opportunity. So they pushed back and said, you know what, let's focus on our own youth and our own infrastructure, and they built that. And I think it was smart from Dempo to pull out for 6, 7, 8 years out of the top tier and focus on those, and now have come back over the last season and now into the top tier. So therefore, it's smart. Churchill have been spending. Churchill are spending. Don't tell me Churchill Brothers at the moment are not spending a lot of money. What's the status of the U13 youth they were supposed to start? October, it's been running. It's been running and across India for a while actually. To run the operations of AIFF, you will need big companies to pitch in what Reliance has been doing. Bits and pieces sponsors are good for a tournament, not for the entire thing. Ocho, very well point. You know, the point here is that the AIFF needs it's a big marketing partner. Elsewhere, you would have had sports management agencies wanting to buy your rights, work with you, build with you. But in an Indian context, that does not exist. We have to be honest about it. And the point is that the money from Reliance has been keeping the AIFF running, has allowed the growth of the AIFF. So even those, as Roshan perfectly said, the victims of the I League actually have been a beneficiary of the money that the AIFF has been getting out of Reliance. I think a lot of people forget that. So therefore, those are the realities of Indian football. But again, who wants to talk about realities? People are rather saying stories. FSTL created a monopoly such that if they go away, many will shut down. No, they haven't, Nadeem. They have not created a monopoly. Again, creating a narrative, creating a story. They've not created a monopoly. They gave an opportunity this last season in Shachi to come in and get the rights of the television and commercial rights of the I League 2, IWL, IWL2, Santosh Trophy, National Senior Championships for Women. Have they gotten one sponsor on board? Even one? That's the reality of Indian football. So therefore, others can come in and try their luck, but the product is not there to push, right? The biggest sponsorships which are coming in Indian football at the moment are from betting companies. Reality. Not only football, in Indian, most of these leagues outside of the IPL are dependent on the betting companies to fund them. Reality of Indian sports. FC Goa has qualified for semifinals so many times. Why do you think they fail each and every time? Don't you think they deserve to win the League Cup at least once now, considering their past? Gaurav, if you win it or not is not about your past and deserving or whatever. If you say deserving, then one say, you know what, Kerala Blasters deserve a trophy here or there. But, so therefore, yeah, the problem is, FC Goa needs to, maybe, I don't know, maybe the killer punch of winning in the knockouts is missing. That we've seen with Mohun Bagan, we've seen in the past with Mumbai City or BFC, Hyderabad, even under Manolo. Maybe that's it. Let's see. Maybe that killer punch is missing. At the moment, FSDL is the best we have. Yeah, Simon, very well said. If I like it or not, can happen, right? Churchill brothers used to give crores to Zakir, a young kid from Kerala, Mohammed Rafi from Mahindra, Odafa, and many foreigners, but the quality has gone down. Yeah, because the quality generally has gone down, but Zakir and Mohammed Rafi were never given crores by Churchill brothers. I don't know where you have that, but those guys have certainly not been given crores. FSD is doing charity no one else would do. Oh, that's the reality. Who's willing to lose thousands of crores? If Bangalore FC and Jamshedpur FC qualifies for one, it would be shocking. Why or not? So, yeah, they won the first leg, right? And they take an advantage in the second leg. So therefore, in playoffs, anything is possible. Also signifies that conventional companies are very cautious about spending other than cricket. Can't blame them given the present economic scenario. That's another reality, right? That's what you're very, very spot on. That's the reality, right? That they will spend overboard on cricket, but not do it on other sports. As per Marcus, in 2012, Dempo budget was way bigger than some current ISL teams now. And there, I guess Marcus is wrong. Not factually, I don't. 2012 Dempo budget? Nah, nowhere clear. Nowhere close. Why have Goa CEO and CTO not held accountable for the club's failure? Do you think these individuals should be sacked? Gaurav, um, for that, I don't know enough insights of what happens at FC Goa, but these guys have built something in regard to grassroots youth. Yeah, again, it's a situation like Kerala Blasters, and if your strategy is not to really push for the title, which I think FC Goa is not FC Goa's priority, um, then you are in that situation. So therefore, I don't think that those guys should be, Ravi and should be held accountable in the way that they should be sacked. I don't think so. Whom you see in ISL final? Ogni, after the first leg, I would say Bangalore FC versus Mohun Bagan would be, and I said that after the first knockouts as well. Cricket brings the returns, other sports don't do that yet. Yeah, very well said, Tobo. So, what's your point of view on Mumbai youth RFDL United United City Football Project? Ogni, sadly, the Mumbai City project has not reached the heights that I would like it to see with the youth. So, therefore, that's a big problem at Mumbai City. But the club has built a lot of things focused on Mumbai-based players. So that's an interesting approach, which very few teams have across India. Go local, and that go local approach will take longer time, and therefore, yeah, you'll have to give it longer time than this at the moment. Hopefully, the next generation of players coming through the grassroots system will be better. If of course Mumbai City exists and the ISL exists, of course, that's the question, right? Seem to be on Omoy, do you see overlap of roles to some extent? Uchut, very clearly, Binoy and Omoy are part of East Bengal Club, and Thangboy Singto has been brought in by Imami Group. So there is not only an overlap, but there's a clash. And let's see what who takes the final calls on transfers in this current setup between East Bengal FC and Imami Group. So therefore, not sure which way it's going. So have you seen the vandalism in Jamshedpur Stadium? Shamal, I've been told that someone has been injured, but at the moment I do not know more, to be very, very honest. So I'll see if relegate, will that help the team like playing all Indian players while doing that they might perform poor? Ogni, Aizel FC took a calculated risk, let's call it that way, right? By saying, you know what, we will play a whole Mizo squad. And they've made changes. They brought in, I think, a foreigner, and they brought in, I think, a couple of outstation players, if I'm not wrong. It's nice to say, you know what, I want to play with all Mizo players. But again, the best Mizo players are not playing for ISLC, right? The best Mizo players are playing in the ISL, also bigger teams in the I League, and some of them even in I League 2 with Chanmari FC, who are close to getting promoted. So therefore, ISL FC is in a situation that they're struggling in a situation where I think a club like that should not be in, but they are in it, and they have to fight it and see if they can get out of that league and actually qualify for another season of I League football, right? And Chanmari, of course, trying to get promoted, so therefore that's huge competition even internally, and so let's see. One Mohun fan got head injury during police lathi charge. Okay, yeah, always bad when the police has to resort to lathi charge. And yes, how do you see Nagaland Premier League? Does it help state like Nagaland? Ugni, Nagaland doesn't have a proper league, or sorry, they've had a proper league, but it's taken them nowhere. Now they've tried to do it a little differently, jazz it up with the Nagaland Super League. Will it bring it the success that they want? I hope so, because it would be good for another northeastern state to be growing. But let's wait and see. It's places like Nagaland, or for example the Gujarat Premier League or Super League. I think Super League it's called Gujarat. Those kind of leagues make sense to me, but it doesn't make sense, let's say, in a Kerala, which has the Kerala Premier League. It doesn't make sense in a Bengal, even though I feel that Bengal could do with a district league, So therefore, you have to. Sometimes I think we need to find local solutions for national problems in Indian football. It is very sad there's no update about OCI PAO from AIFF, then why they raise the topic and make hope in football lovers India. Shams, what uh, hope? As long as the government, the parliament doesn't act, nothing will change, right? So therefore, we are in that situation, and nothing has changed, right? To me, yeah, that's the problem that we find ourselves in, and nothing. So therefore, for me, um, yeah, there's been no movement as such. Nadeem says football does not bring ad revenue. Cricket, and like in Europe, Indian market can't run on subscription revenue. Thus, difficult for non-cricket leagues to make big. Yeah, yeah, that's the problem. After such disastrous performance of FC Goa, they expect fans to attend club home games. I think fans of the club are frustrated to see what that happened during the initial stages of the league. Gaurav, the problem to me is with fans in Indian football these days that they only support their team in success. Right? I've said that to the Kerala Blasters fans as well. Um, when your team is not successful, I think you should be supporting your team even more. That's the challenge for you as a fan, that you need to support your team in success and in failure. And therefore, for me, um, yeah, that's the problem in Indian football in general. So therefore, I see it a little differently. Why Mizoram FA is best run FA right now? Only very simply because they've done the things that have been needed to structure themselves, to structure their professional league, the Mizoram Premier League, to have a women's league, to have youth leagues, to have district competitions. So therefore, for me, and they focus on all the areas that they need to do. Do you think FC Goa home stadium will be sold out? No idea, Gaurav. I know that DFC will be bringing some fans, but let's see how well FC Goa over the next 3 days activate the fans for Sunday. Let's see if they can get 20,000 people to turn up, like in Bangalore. What a home crowd! Jamshedpur football is growing. Nishu, great to see the people come out and support Jamshedpur FC tonight. But the problem is, because of that, it tends to say that Indian football is growing or football is growing in India is a little far-fetched in my opinion, because I feel that so therefore, let's wait and see that where we stand. India is 127th behind Gambia. Yeah, so new rankings, FIFA rankings came out today. India now dropping a couple of spots. And what did we expect? Where do we stand, right? To me, therefore, that's the reality. Now it's been 11 damn years, not even a single trophy. For what reason the fans have to support the club? No history, no achievements, nothing. Nishu, how many clubs in other parts of the world actually win a trophy? Did you see the celebrations in Newcastle after they won the Carabao Cup? 70 years. Newcastle did not win anything in 70 years. Smaller teams have never won anything. So therefore, football is not always winning about trophies. It's not winning trophies. It is about supporting your team, having a good time, and especially getting through the tough times. Right? That's the challenge, I think, in football. And if we're waiting only for success and only success will be supported, then we are in the situation that that two, three teams will be supported, the rest will not be supported because they're failing. Failure is part and parcel of football. If I or you or anybody else likes it or not, that is a fact. because it is the reality of things that yeah, you will not be able to win everything every time, right? So therefore, it's a tough one. But as for the Blasters, as with any other team, in my opinion, um, support your teams, especially when I said that to a lot of Mumbai City fans on Saturday. Despite the big loss to BFC, despite having a terrible season, that now especially Mumbai City needs your support. Now the team, the club needs your support. The players, the coaches know that they've performed badly. They know that, right? But sometimes it is like that, as it is, and that's sadly football, in my opinion. Right, over 1.5 hours, more than 90 minutes of this Indian football discussion on this Thursday evening. It is April the 3rd. Mohun Bagan suffered a 1-2 loss at Jamshedpur FC in the first leg of their ISL semi-final. So that's the first leg result, while yesterday Bengaluru FC scored a 2-0 victory at home against FC Goa. Yes, Bielefeld celebrating the DFB Pokal final for first time. So Roshan, very good example, right? I mean, a club like Bielefeld has been going up the leagues, going down the leagues. So therefore, yeah, let's see. I think in the case of FC Goa, the situation is different because they've qualified for semi-finals most of the times. The past Goan clubs had a lot of success in Ali like Tempo, Salgaoka, Churchill. I don't think it's different. Gaurav, I don't think it's different. It's the same thing. And if FC Goa was top of the league, this and that might be different. But I've been to I-League matches. I remember one I-League match of Salgaoka Football Club at the Fatorda. 9 paying spectators. 9. I think there were 30 people in total at the ground. Right? Tempo hasn't had many fans. Churchill, it's been building, right? This is the best that Churchill, I think, has had in decades. So therefore, to say that the success of old Goan clubs, I think FC Goa is a different beast. FC Goa has had more fans than all of these clubs in the past. And that's the reality. That's where we stand, and people don't want to accept it. So that's it. Hope for the best in Indian football. Another great conversation. Thanks, Verzian. Yeah, as I always say, I try to be as honest as I can to you guys, give you my opinions, give you my thoughts of where we stand, how things are, because yeah, the reality is brutal at the moment. At the moment, there are so many issues and problems facing Indian football. The question is where do we stand, and that's, I feel very, very worried when I see where we stand, because yeah, we could be better, we should be better. Not good, we should be better. That we can be better, I'm 100% certain about it. But we should be better. But with all the issues, with all the problems that are there, I am very, very, very concerned about Indian football. That's why I made this, the Indian football circus, the daily Indian football circus, right? Made a story about it today, that this is at a level where we shouldn't be talking about these things, right? Things should be going in a certain direction, that football develops itself, but we're not. We're um, sorry, we are spinning round and round, and we're not making any progress on that front, and that's a huge, huge problem. With so much doom and gloom around Indian football, is there silver lining that we can hold on to? The R3DF4NG. After a bad phase always comes a better phase. That is what I believe in. That is what I hope in. And that's what I'm hoping for Indian football, that things will change in the right direction. And it'll work at some stage. I think it will work at some stage. So therefore, let's not be too negative. Yeah. So that's the reality, right? Red Fang. Sorry, made this when I was young. Didn't. Okay, Red Fang. Understood. That is your name. Everyone's talking about Khalid, but this defensive performance of Ronaldo. Ruturaj, Ronaldo. I said this earlier today. In my opinion, one of the unsung heroes of Indian football over the last decade. Ronaldo, Pritam Kota, Pruvidas have had their highs, have had their lows. Uh, right, that's football for you. But Bruno is a fighter. Bruno is a will give you everything. And sometimes, again, the body has given up with him a few times as well. One has to be honest about that he's physically suffered some serious injuries, but he'll fight for you till the end. So yeah, so that's the reality. Right, slowly, if you don't have anything more to add, I'd slowly come to an end of this latest Indian football discussion after the ISL game tonight. Yeah, it is as it is, and Mohun Bagan have a little bit of a mountain to climb to get to the finals, but I think yeah, they're surely capable of that. In the I League, nothing new. Let's see what the AIFF comes around. At least they've now confirmed that 4 o'clock will be the kickoff timing for all the games on Sunday. And yeah, the one thing, the silver lining that I have for myself and for you all, let's hope and believe that things will get better. Somewhere things will have to change because this downward spiral is just unacceptable. And yeah, FC Goa chances, sure, good question. I see Bengaluru FC as favourites now. Watching weekend football at your hometown should be part of the culture. Yeah, Nadeem, totally agree with you. That should be part of your culture that you go out, not only weekend, whenever you get time, if you can even go earlier, not earlier, in the afternoons, evenings, watch some local football, support the people. That's what it needs. That's the challenge of football. And as you say, be it I League, ISL, District League, IWS, State League, watch football, watch even youth football, support football. That's the most important thing. And with that, slowly coming to an end, as I said, like, share, and subscribe. Arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias. Visit arunfoot.com. And yeah, keep on supporting me. Thanks a lot for that. To all of you who are watching it live or maybe deferred, watch the short videos. A lot of stuff in there. And keep on supporting. Support me, support Indian football. And better days will surely come. Thanks. Good night, everyone.